Hello and welcome back to the Out of Spec podcast. Ram has just released all of their information about the Ram 1500 Ramcharger. And so here we are talking about what they have in store for this extended range electric vehicle. Ram was supposed to initially come out with the Ram REV, the full battery electric version of the Ram 1500, but they've decided to come with this hybrid extended range electric vehicle version first, citing market demand and wanting to be more competitive. Now, we know Ram's electric lineup: Fiat 500e, Wagoneer S, the Dodge Charger. The lineup is a little shaky. The Dodge Charger isn't selling too well. Wagoneer S has its own issues, and the 500e, other than leases, is way too expensive. And so I think Stellantis is just too unsure about itself when it comes to electrification. So they're doing a bit of a cop out. Okay, if we're being honest here, this is a cop out. This is them trying to incorporate the engine so they can get more sales because they're not that good at making a well qualified EV. But let's talk about this extended range EV, right? We have a couple extended range EVs. That's what BYD mainly sells. They about half their sales are extended range EVs, and then they also have, of course, their full battery electric vehicles. We have Scout, which will be coming out with their extended range electric vehicles as well as their full battery electric vehicles. This is one of the first of its kind for a vehicle this size here in the United States. So the Ram 1500 Ramcharger uses a 91.8 kilowatt hour nickel manganese cobalt battery pack. As we know it's about I want to say 350 to 400 volts. Just doing the math, and we'll get into the charging side of it as well, but just know the charging is pretty bad. But it is a total 91.8 kilowatt hour battery. However, only 69.7 kilowatt hours is usable for electric driving, and that provides you with about 145 miles of electric range. So if you want to install your wall charger, you want to do errands. I mean, how often are you driving 145 miles everywhere? That 145 miles is going to get you where you need to go in town, in city, in county, and do you just fine. And so 145 miles of range is pretty decent. The battery pack is designed with the first tray used for the battery, and then the second half is allocated for the gas tank and the emission system. So this is why only 69.7 kilowatt hours of the battery pack is usable. That's because some of it is being preserved as energy that can be used for the motors that they have. I believe also it's not fully usable because they likely want to protect the battery, right? It's not good to fully discharge or fully charge an electric battery, right? 0% or 100%. So they're likely using some sort of buffer, so where the battery is never fully charged or discharged. But that 69.7 is what you're actually going to be using for the battery pack. With the help of the electric motors as well as the battery, that's going to help deliver up to 647 horsepower and 610 pound-feet of torque. It uses a 3.6 liter Pentastar V6 engine, really a generator, that contributes 271 horsepower and 226 pound-feet of torque. But again, this is just a generator, and it actually doesn't provide any direct mechanical power. So the Ramcharger is a dual motor vehicle. It has a motor in the back, motor in the front. The engine simply creates power from the gas, right? You fill it up with gas. It creates energy. That energy is given to the battery. The battery then gives that energy to the motors to help propel it. It is mechanically disconnected from the car itself. It is really just a generator. But performance. Under the hybrid system, the Ramcharger can have a 0 to 60 of 4.5 seconds and 14,000 pound-feet of towing capacity. 4.5 seconds is decent. That's what you're going to get on the regular dual motor Rivians. That's what you're going to get, better than what you're going to see on some Ford Lightnings. And so that's a competitive 0 to 60 time. Now, again, hybrid, so front and rear electric motors, just the engine. And that's pretty much kind of summarizing how the system works. We've seen other extended range electric vehicles. For instance, the Chevy Volt was a big one, and it's just another version of a plug-in hybrid. Of course, we have BEVs, which are battery electric vehicles, or full electric vehicles like the Ford Lightning and the Tesla Cybertruck and the Rivian R1T. And then we have hybrid electric vehicles, which don't have any plug-in accessory power, but they're using things like regenerative braking to power the battery. Then we have plug-in hybrids. Think of the Toyota Prius Prime, which has a smaller battery. The engine is really powering majority of the vehicle. It has one electric motor, but the engine is mechanically connected to the vehicle, and it doesn't have as much range as what we see in the Ramcharger. And then, of course, we have the extended range electric vehicles, where the engine is totally disconnected from the powertrain, and it is used pretty much solely as a generator. And again, as I've mentioned, we're going to see this in more vehicles, right? Scout, this is what they're doing as well, extended range EVs. We're likely going to see this with some other automakers as well as this marketplace heats up. But China's been doing this for a while. For instance, the BYD Shark, that is an extended range EV. They sell a lot of extended range EVs. So it kind of makes me wonder if we're going to see a future of more extended range EVs as more and more of them come out. But it could be pretty exciting. Capable charging from 20% to 80% in 45 minutes. All right. 45 minutes, 20% to 80%. It's unlikely that you're going to DC fast charge this thing, I imagine. I'm sure some people will, but if you're going the distance, you're likely just going to use the gas generator, and that's going to help power the vehicle, because waiting 45 minutes for just 20 to 80%, and again, that's of the usable capacity, because only 69.7 kilowatt hours is usable. So of that 69.7, 20 to 80 in 45 minutes. A gas range 27-gallon fuel tank, right, provides that 540 miles of range with the generator. And then it gets over 690 miles of range when you also include the battery by itself. And so lots of range. I think that this is going to speak to some buyers who want to go electric, but again, they're just too scared to go full in, even though we have already sold hundreds of thousands of electric trucks and clearly see that for 90% of buyers, electric trucks are just fine. People still want to go with hybrids, and that's what we're kind of seeing here. And so 690 miles of range. It's going to be good for towing. Remember, this truck, 14,000 towing capacity, 2,645 payload capacity. Is best in class towing, best in class payload. It's going to be a interesting buy for those who are going to be doing a lot of towing and heavy work and maybe want to have a little bit of an increase in efficiency. But if you're not going to be towing, just get an electric truck. This really doesn't, I don't think will make sense in the long term. Now, as I've mentioned, right, 20 to 80 in 45 minutes. That'll get you about 87 miles of range, that 20 to 80% out of the full 140. And it can level 1, level 2, and DC fast charge. But as I mentioned, right, unlikely that you're going to DC fast charge this thing. Fuel economy. Now, this is not from the EPA. This is the fuel economy that Dodge has gotten. So maybe the numbers will be a little different for the EPA, but 20 miles per gallon combined with this hybrid system. That's just horrible. For instance, vehicles like the Cybertruck, the Ford Lightning, the Silverado, the Rivian R1T get about 70 miles per gallon equivalent, 20 miles per gallon with the hybrid and the electric system, which is a bit of a bump from Ram's current lineup, because currently the Ram vehicles get anywhere from 15 to 17 miles per gallon. It speaks to the crazy inefficiencies that Stellantis has in their electric vehicle architecture. I should also mention the Ramcharger weighs 7,507 pounds. That's more than what you're seeing on the Ford Lightning and the Cybertruck and the Rivian R1T. This thing is extremely heavy. But 20 miles per gallon, that's not that good. Now, the frame is a little bit different than what we get in the current gas versions of the Ram 1500, but the body itself is just about the same. So if you wanted to, kind of how we have the Ford F-150 Lightning and the F-150 can share and swap parts because the body is the same, kind of same here on the Ram 1500 Ramcharger, except the frame itself is 8 inches wider. So if you're going to be connecting something to the frame, it's not going to match with what you would get, on the gas version of the Ram 1500. Now, this will not get a fifth wheel like regular gas powered versions of the Ram 1500, which is interesting because for something that has best in class payload capacity, 14,000 pounds of towing, I think a fifth wheel would kind of make sense, but I guess due to the chassis design and the frame, no fifth wheel. Four corner independent suspension with optional air suspension for better ride and clearance. Phone as a key. Has vehicle to home, vehicle to load, so you can use this to power your home. Has an e-locker, so a rear motor actually includes an e-locker, so kind of like a rear locking differential for better off-road capability. And this is expected to launch in the second half of 2025. So coming up pretty soon. No estimate on pricing, no idea what pricing is going to look like. Now, if we actually go over to Ram's website, you'll see here that one of the trims that they have for the Ramcharger is what they call the tungsten. And for the tungsten trim, the new tungsten trim, right? The all new tungsten is the most luxurious Ram 1500 ever. It offers new features like 22-inch aluminum wheels, best in class available premium leather, 24 power adjustable front seats with heat, ventilation, memory and massage, and Eclipse 6 reference premium audio system. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. The most powerful available audio system in class. So a more luxurious truck. Now, the regular gas powered version of the tungsten edition starts at $87,320. And this version, imagine, right, less towing capacity, less payload capacity, less range, less efficient. It doesn't have the electric powertrain that the Ramcharger will get. And so I think we could easily see this Ram 1500 Ramcharger well over $100,000. But that competes with some of the other electric trucks we have on the market. However, for the efficiency you're getting, I don't think $100,000 will be worth it. We'll see what actual pricing ends up being. For instance, the pretty much base trim that you'll be getting of the Ram 1500, the tradesman, starts at $40,000. And so you can imagine, right, the pricing bracket that Ram currently has, $40,000 to $87,000. We'll likely see the Ramcharger start somewhere in between those two windows. But going a little further, right, built to defy the distance, meet the electric truck that is set to push boundaries, crafted with an eye-catching, distinctly Ram brand exterior design, and equipped with distance-defying electric capability, the all-new Ram 1500 Ramcharger is the world's first ever range-extended full-size electric pickup truck, coming 2025. 690 miles of range, 1,400 best-in-class towing capacity, 2,600 best-in-class maximum payload capacity, 663 horsepower. Power meets range. The all-new Ramcharger delivers innovative performance with a liquid-cooled 92 kilowatt-hour battery pack paired with a 130 kilowatt generator. The 3.6-liter Pentastar V6, which is why this car is so inefficient, engine generates mechanical power, which is converted to electrical power by the onboard generator for maximum efficiency. The generator, if that's maximum efficiency, okay. The generator can also increase the power to the motor and gearbox when serious power is needed, which is neat. Translation, the all-new Ram 1500 Ramcharger offers more range, towing, payload capacity than any electric truck in its class and is set to be a game changer in the world of electric pickup trucks. So again, figures here, targeted 690 miles of range, not EPA yet, 663 horsepower, 615 targeted total torque, 4.4 targeted 0 to 60, 2.6 maximum payload capacity, 14,000 towing capacity. Smart charging ports. It gives you an idea what the charging port is going to look like. Don't overthink it. The all-new Ram 1500 Ramcharger makes charging quick and easy with an easy-to-use quick-release mount featuring a lockable, weatherproof enclosure. The truck comes equipped to handle 3 different levels of charging. It is compatible with level 1 and available level 2 charging at 240 volts and level 3 chargers at 400 volts and up to 50 miles of all-electric range in just 10 minutes with 400-volt DC fast charging at up to 145 kilowatts. So maybe if you're in town and there's a DC charger available and you want to do a quick DC fast charge and get some range, that'll work. But again, 45 minutes from 20 to 80% isn't that amazing. Onboard power options, which is awesome, right? I think all trucks should have onboard power, electric or gas. Charge up your tools, personal tech, and more with a convenient power source in the truck bed, up to 4.8 kilowatts in the truck bed, and an available power panel with up to 7.2 kilowatts. This electric truck offers efficient, accessible power when you need it. Also, home energy charging. Stay powered up no matter what. When the grid is down, this electric truck can help you get back up and running for up to 30 days with device power rationing. You can see charge port adapters, vehicle power panel, and vehicle to home. Use your vehicle as a backup generator to power your home. Scrolling down, hands-free active driving assist. Now, Stellantis actually just released their STLA Auto Drive, which is both hands-free and eyes-off driving. Level 3, so your hands don't have to be on it. You don't have to be watching the road. And up to speeds of 37 miles an hour. Of course, this is expected to increase. But Stellantis hasn't given us a timeline of when that's going to be coming. But if I were to make a guess, I could imagine maybe it could be coming to the Ram 1500 Ramcharger. It has one pedal driving, which is good to hear. A lot of full electric vehicles don't even have one pedal driving. EV indications, get access to EV specific information like flows, battery, and energy levels. See tire pressure, range, trailer trip. So, some decent EV information. I'd be interested in seeing how much information they give, like Ford, Tesla, and Rivian, which their UI can give a lot of EV information for you, down to battery temperature, motor temperature. So it'd be interesting to see what Ram offers there. And Ramcharger power mode selector, manage your truck's energy and performance, select between electric mode, e-save mode, and eco mode, and additionally choose charge depleting mode, battery hold mode, and e-all-wheel drive mode or e-sport mode to optimize energy consumption and to enhance vehicle performance. Massive 14.5-inch touchscreen. There's also going to be available a 10.2-inch passenger interactive display you see on the side here, so passengers will kind of could get their own display as well. Smartphone as a key, right? Phone as a key, that should be standard in all cars. Good to see that the Ramcharger is getting it as well. Wireless charging, as we mentioned, the new tungsten trim, which is already $87,000 for just the gas-powered version. This could likely hit well over $100,000. Dynamic lights, new signature front lights, so you'll be able to tell when you'll be seeing a Ramcharger. However, it still is a gas-powered vehicle. It still has the front end open. So it still looks like a gas-powered vehicle. The Ram 1500 is the most luxurious Ram ever. Built with strength you expect. Power tailgate. Access the bed of the all-new Ram 1500 Ramcharger quickly and easily with the available power tailgate that opens and closes at your command, which I would love on my Rivian. My R1T only has a power open tailgate. You got to close it manually. So power open and close. That seems like a pretty cool feature. Ram box cargo management system, ParkSense automated parking system, active lane management, evasive steer assist, intersection collision assistant system, drowsy driver detection. This thing, and so it's going to be interesting to see what the starting price of it is, as well as how all of this that we're reading on paper translates to the real world. But let me know what you guys think. Would you get an extended range electric vehicle, or would you go all in and just commit and get an electric vehicle like the Silverado EV, like the Ford Lightning? But this is Ram's entry to the market. As I've mentioned, Stellantis, Dodge, Ram, Jeep isn't doing too well when it comes to EVs. We have the Wagoneer S, which has had its own issues, particularly in software, pricing. It's just not a competitive vehicle. We have the Dodge Charger, which I personally actually love. Too niche of a vehicle to sell well, though. And so, of course, the Ramcharger is going to be getting a gas-powered version as well. Really, then we'll have the Jeep Recon, which will be like the electric Wrangler. And so this is Dodge's entry to the electric vehicle game. And so far, right, remember, Dodge has canceled the full battery electric version. I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but Dodge has canceled the full battery electric version of the Ram REV. So the full electric has been canceled. They've already told suppliers, we're not doing this right now. And I imagine market conditions, some macroeconomics have an influence on that as well. But also, I just don't think Ram knows how to build a very competitive EV. And this, them just going the easy route and, making an extended range vehicle, guess works out for them. But for consumers, I think it could be a decent option. Again, let me know in the comments, full electric, or will you go with a hybrid? My name is Isaiah. This is the Out of Spec podcast, and I will see you guys in the next one. Ramcharger.